Get him, get him, get him, shawty, get him, get him, get him, shawty, get him, get him, shawty, get him, get him.
Yo, speaking of Us, because you ended it on that movie Us is coming out.
Yeah,
now,
I heard it was lit.
I enjoyed Get Out, and I'm
Facts.
sure I'm going to enjoy Us, but I got a question that's somewhat of a tangent from what we've been talking about, but with movies like Get Out and Us, his name is Jordan Peele, I believe.
Yeah,
How
Jordan.
do you feel about, or even Donald Glover, who did This Is America, the video was real provocative with the imagery.
Yeah.
How do you feel about black men who, quote unquote, are supposedly putting out these images that are supposed to stir the pot and cause conversation, but I guess for the good, who don't even have us as their mate? You know what I'm saying? Jordan Peele, Donald Glover, white women. Now, Jordan Peele, I think he'd been with his woman for a long time, another comedian or whatever, before he, quote unquote, blew. But do you think that some of these movies also, yeah, they may have good things, but they're also trying to put us under a spell? Like, if you look at Us, the imagery is a hand like this, holding a spoon on that cup, and it's called monkey paw.
Yeah.
Now, in the Us, it's like a water blot, like the kind they do when they do those analyzations of you in the psychiatric. But it's a white rabbit if you really look at that. You know, the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland. It's a lot of subliminal shit in there I'm scared of too. I won't take that scared back. Not scared. There's a lot of shit I'm suspicious of, along with the good message. I think it's kind of like to kind of desensitize us in some ways too, to like expect negative shit. I don't know if I'm even making sense.
Is it a horror movie?
Yeah,
it's a psychological thriller.
It's a psychological thriller. It's a horror movie, and it's called Us. You know, so there's a lot of double meanings. I'm sure in there.
From the early reviews that are coming back, you know, they like, this is another one. You know, Jordan Peele, after the success of Get Out, said that he secured a movie deal with one of the major studios where he's going to produce these horror thrillers.
Okay.
And he's going to interject social commentary and, you know, social issues in his works, right? I think that might be a Becky perk. Like, that's a trade-off in Hollywood.
She got him
to roll
on.
with a Becky. They'll yo, you could do social shit. Like, that's your lane. You know, because it seems like a lot of the artists feel obligated to give back from an artistic standpoint where they're in the house. You know what I mean? The ones that are in these relationships, they see the psychosis. You know, I don't see movies celebrating the relationships like that coming from these people that are in the relationships. They not writing scripts to say, oh, I got to give you, you know, a Titanic type story of me and my Becky. You know, they're still in blackface.
True.
You feel me? They're still trying to do, you know, black on black and all of that. I appreciate art from artists in any way, form, in this renaissance that we're in. For them, what they're doing is they're feeding Afro-surrealism and Afro-futurism with these, you know, with their entries, you know, with their projects. This Is America, Us. That's Afro-surrealism. That's a category. You know what I mean? Black Panther is Afro-futurism. They made $1 billion. That's a category. That's a strong category. That's the category that we have to approach if we want to break the spell. That's the rebuttal, my nigga. In the freestyle battle, when somebody comes in and they off the top of the head, that's the rebuttal to the centuries of negative propaganda and programming and all of these whitewashed movies that they've been feeding us about who we are not. These movies, they deal with, like, Sorry to Bother You, Black Klansman, the show Atlanta, Issa Rae show, right? All of these fall under the category of black surrealism.
Shout out to
look up
Insecure.
that term. That term is very important because many of us who are artists Afro surrealism, Afro futurism, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are actual powerful genres where the babies, the little ones, because I'm really talking about. Let's talk about edifying them. Let's talk about how we're gonna make them legends. Let's talk about how, because the college scandal came out and everybody shocked it. These Europeans who got bread is gonna spend they're gonna spend for the cheat code, right?
Mm-hmm.
When this is what niggas is giving our own people passes to do. Just let that nigga sell all the weight because he got a family to feed.
Yep.
Or let Shorty bust it open, Tatiana bust down. You know what I mean? Because she got to feed the little chitlins.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like we allowing our people to do cheating shit to get their little ones by. But when the crack, you know, oh my goodness, you know, I'm glad that they got caught. You know, that's America for you though. You just getting a glimpse of this de facto. You know what I'm saying?
That's who
system.
got caught. Look at how many probably got away with that shit.
Oh my! That's the system. It's not who got away with it.
Going on.
That's the system. It's
not
how
new.
things are
but
set up.
they won't admit to that though. They're not gonna be
but
like.
they can't admit to it because you have to look at the relationship of who you're dealing with. If you was running shit? If you was holding on to a whole entity, a whole continent, a whole nation, a whole country that's not yours, that you basically you got secret indictments from ICE. Like you don't have no real claims to the land that you had to sign treaties to be on. It's not your shit.
So then that makes it more important for us to know that we are indigenous.
Like I said, what the ADOS will take us to is that conversation.
Yeah, 'cause you're
make
gonna
no
have to-
mistake about it. It's going to morph into a bigger conversation about, yes, I'm a descendant of a slave, but I could be a descendant of a sovereign as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like my people got conquered and they got enslaved. They took our land.
I need 2 checks because
I need 2.
my peoples is from Jamaica and here, so Britain
Super fact.
needs
Cut
to
me
come
one.
up off of it, and the United
I
States
got
needs to
St.
come up
Croix
off
and
of
I
it.
got you know what I mean? I need 2 checks, my nigga, 2 phones. Talk to me. Like, so, you know, it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
So, in closing, we talked about the branding, we talked about support, and your thoughts. How do the people supposed to approach pretty much starting their own brand and supporting each other on the black on black level, meaning that, and also saying that just because it's a black owned doesn't mean that it's half off just because it's cheaper. So actually go out and support your brother and your sisters
right.
out there.
This is the thing, you know, and this comes from the pain of being an independent business owner. Because the pain of it is the shit that we had to go through for the years that there was no support.
True.
For the years that it was basically making it on shoestring budget, right? Shoestringing this shit, right? Shoeboxing this bitch, right? You know, what they call tightroping it. I'm glad that the industry has come unto itself. You know, I started making conscious clothing in 2005, I believe. I learned the trade at the magic show. The phone. I learned the trade at the magic show in Las Vegas. And I've been telling people ever since, you know, take advantage of this industry. Take advantage of, you know, being an entrepreneur. Take advantage of learning. Because it's one thing to learn that you came from Kemet. It's one thing to learn that you come from a sovereign, that you belong to a sovereign empire. It's one thing to learn that, you know, you're a descendant of great people. But it's another thing to not continue carrying on tradition, to follow up with that legacy. Shit, if you a legend, then keep doing legendary shit. You know what I'm saying? Because you live in a legendary time. Like, this is the culmination of all eras. That's why everything is somewhat interloping. The 60s is here, the 90s is back, the 80s is back. Niggas is living in chattel slavery in some places. The 1600s is back, the medievals is back. You know, all of these times are competing with each other and they're interloping with it. This is a quantum reality. But like I said, we're coming amongst a very important marker in history that has been written about, and that's the year 2020. You know, and we have to, we you know, I don't know if we, like, I feel that we're preparing for it. All of the teaching that people is doing and the learning and the journeys and the pain that the people, you know, and to see that, you know, the mind state of people is we have to begin to focus on supporting each other, and we have to utilize what we're learning to we got to monetize the culture. So if I'm learning my culture, well then, goddamn it, I'm wearing, you know what I mean? If I'm learning that I come from a place, you know, that specializes in certain kind of crops or certain kind of foods, I'm gonna start eating those foods. If I learn that there's certain sacred stones that originate in certain places where I either live or where my blood comes from, I'm gonna start adorning myself with those sacred. They're called sacred stones for a reason. His
They bring you
word
energy.
sacred. Man. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? It's not. There's a stock market called a rock market. Remember, stones do what they say that they're gonna do. They not like, they don't wake up one day. A diamond don't wake up one day and say, "I'm not gonna shine."
Nah.
A diamond is always gonna cut glass. A diamond is always gonna reflect light from its many facets when it comes in contact with it. Amethyst is always going to have the same properties. A quartz is always going to be a conductor. So there's a rock market. You don't even know. We don't even know about that. They're trading stones and gems that they're getting out of mountains, and they're getting out of these places, the Adirondacks. You know what I mean? This is mountainous regions. You have wealth in the ground. You have wealth in the water. They've depleted the goddamn fisheries all around America with the constant consuming. We live near the Carolinas, where if you go and watch the Netflix series Rotten, and they talk about how they monetize these poultry industries and the pig farming and the cattle industry, where they're sacrificing all of these animals on a daily basis, because our people are now in a culture where we have become what we have despised the most. We're not living a healthy lifestyle mentally. We're not living a healthy lifestyle spiritually. We're not living a healthy lifestyle culturally. We're living where we cannot be like anybody else. There's no such thing as equality. We're not equal to nobody. Nobody's like us. Stop playing with me. You understand? You know what I'm talking about? Nobody's like us, so stop trying to stand in the same room. No, nigga, you can't come in this room. Fuck is you talking about? You're not allowed in VIP. There's a velvet rope that separates us from others.
No doubt.
You understand? So, no, we're not all equal. You know what I mean? And we got to start moving like that and carrying ourselves. So going back, I don't want to get off the topic of the clothing.
Yo, I gotta just say
Hold on.
this.
What's
I
that?
tell my kids all the time, you're better than them.
So much.
Don't act like that. You're better than them.
Even when you come in the race in the fourth lap and they got four in front of you, you still Usain Bolt. You still Jesse Owens the bitch. They need a head start to compete because genetically, my niggas, there's 8-year-olds that look like us in college right now. Most of them is homeschool.
No doubt. Speak on that. Yes.
And that will show you that when you take our children and
Out
put
of the
them in
system.
healthy environments
Yes.
and teach them with no limit to it, they can become the geniuses that they are naturally. Africans from the continent are naturally scientists, engineers, and mathematicians. It don't matter if they're in a shanty town. These little dudes are they're in goddamn scrap yards making rockets right now in shanty towns. It's in their DNA. Like I said, we are still approaching the mental propensity that existed centuries prior. There's proof of that in the megalithic, monolithic structures that are constructed and architected and put together with sacred geometry. Did machines make it, were they created with lasers? I do feel like that. It's called ancient future. We may be going backwards and going back. We may be going into a time where the shit is just gonna come and merge. It's not the way that they have us looking at time is not accurate. It's more centrifugal in a cycle than it's linear. It goes in a circle. So if they can lie to you and convince you that you belong to a history that you didn't even live out, that's not necessarily true, then it could necessarily throw off your present and your future. It will affect your future. So they're affecting our present and they're affecting our future because they're selling us a lie through Hollywood about who we are, about our self-worth, about our history, about the wars that were fought and the wars that were won. Like I said, if you go and do the research, the Marines were created, the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. This is the song that they sing. They're talking about going to war with the Barbary coast or the Barbary powers in the 1800s. So if they had to pay tribute to sail their ships in the waters in Africa, how the hell were they moving all them fucking slaves around? How were they moving all of that cargo? They didn't even have free reign on the seas like that. Stop it, Five. You know what I mean? They came into a place that was already inhabited. Go and read the journals. Go and read Pizarro's journal, Hernando Cortez. Go and read the journals of Columbus. They got it on display for niggas that want to do the research. It's hidden in plain sight. The story is not accurate. They came and they saw empires and kingdoms, and niggas been here. And we been getting busy, and we had governments set up. We had a constitution, and they copied that constitution and formed their constitution. We had secret societies. We had what is known as the long, the long houses. We gave people game, and don't blame us for shining our lights because that's what we always do. Anywhere that we go, the lights get turned on. We electrify the place. We create. We innovate. And all of these things, and nature comes with us and it blossoms and it blooms. When we leave, the shit dies and everything shuts down. That is the fact, and they know that, and they live around us and they feed off of us and they feed off of our pain and they sacrifice us and they feed off of our tears and they feed off of our ignorance and they feed off of our fears and all of these other things. So what I'm saying is pay attention to those who are on the frequency that are going to get you where you need to go. And edify your culture through your cloth. This is a war drove because we are at war. Spiritual war, intellectual war, economic war, mental war, a culture war. They're going to war against the culture because the culture is at the top. So white men in Nebraska are scared of the sight of their children coming home with a face tat. The one who did the killing in New Zealand, that was a commercial. He is going to. They are championing him. They're not condemning him. He's been championed around the world. His manifesto is being shared amongst mad white supremacists or what they call race soldiers and sleeper cells around the world. They are carrying out their inquisition. They are carrying out their crusades. They are carrying out their holy war. And everything is biblical with these people because I'm still in the center of some biblical shit. This is still Virginia, Virgin Mary, Maryland. This is a very powerful place. The District of Columbia, Columbus. These are all ritualistic places, but you gotta wake up the ancestral energy in this bitch. You gotta wake up. You gotta wake up your junk DNA. You gotta come online, my niggas. And then you're gonna be part of this quote unquote. You're gonna make magic happen. You're gonna be like a superhero. You're gonna be in this Avengers 4 Endgame. Is that the name of the movie?
Yeah, that's the new one coming
This is
up.
an Endgame. This is Endgame. Niggas, Thanos already snapped his fingers.
He did.
We did.
Look at this shit. Look at the conscious community. There was a Thanos snap because a lot of niggas turned into dust. Facts. We here operating and moving around and It's a lot of
That's a
people
whole
who
nother
we
show.
started out
Yes.
with.
'Cause I would love to pick your brain on a lot
Of people that we
That's a whole
started
nother
out
show
with the
right
shit
there.
like the Avengers. I don't even know. I can't find them on the gram. You feel me?
Not on the tube, nowhere.
Thanos dust. So, and then in the rap game, and then in the streets, niggas got Thanos snap. How many people are missing? You understand? How many people walking around in a stupor? How many people is dust heads? How many people got turned into dust? Is mad niggas missing on my timeline? You understand? So we already in the end game. So what I'm saying is, this is $1 billion industry.
Let them know where to get it.
I
Yeah,
could
let 'em
turn
know where to
cotton
find you and
into
where to get that.
profit.
You can't have that one though, because that's mine.
kingscounty.bigcartel.com, and another website where we have more of the couture stuff that is launching in the March of Ides this month. March Madness is KNGZKNTY. That's 8 letters, 4. Took out the vowels. Kings County. KNGZ, the phone. KNTY.com. But then before that, we got kingscounty.bigcartel. It'll be right there. And then, go and click on. It's a Z on it. KINGZKOUNTY. One of the pioneers of conscious streetwear. One of the progenitors, I have to put that on the record, one of the trendsetters who Fader magazine recognized in 2007 for bringing forward the look of the ancient Kemetic, restoring the ancient Kemetic motifs and restoring ancient Kemetic conscious culture in clothing. And then that wave started. Remember that wave where everybody was rocking King Tut Egyptian stuff?
Yeah, most definitely.
Well, we started that wave. So we still here and we're building. And what I'm saying is, this is a multi-million-dollar industry. This brand is a multi-million-dollar brand. Just on that alone, we have to restore value in our own brands, what I'm offering, and what we working on with the Compass Circle and other entities is our initiative. So we come with gifts, we come with receipts and solutions. We have an initiative called the Facts 2020. The acronym stands for food, art, clothing, technology, and shelter. But it also doubles as film, arms, coding, culture, transportation, strategy. Okay, and these are what are known as this is something that I want the family to go and research. Okay, platform cooperatives. Platform cooperatives. So I'm creating with Facts 2020. This is a new movement. This is a new solution-based initiative that fits nicely in with all of the other movements that we find out here. It works conducively with them because it's solution-based. And it's an initiative, and it deals with different businesses and different networks. And it's the Facts 2020. And it's platform cooperatives. So every single platform, food is a platform unto it itself. It has a network of many different food owners and food businesses and horticulture business, because food is agriculture, but horticulture like CBD, like hemp, like weed and marijuana, those are foods, those are crops. So we have people in all of those networks communicating with each other. We're developing a coin, so they're doing business with each other. We're outsourcing our resource. We're outsourcing labor. We're outsourcing resources with the share. It's like the share economy. So you're sharing different resources, different machinery. So let's say that you got a factory in Norfolk where you could kick out 100 t-shirts in an hour, right? And I'm doing small scale production in New York City, but I could come and rent your facility like on a Fiverr type of app, or like on a quote unquote, like on a what's the other kind of gig economy apps? You have Upwork. Something called Upwork. You have Fiverr. You have peopleperhour.com. These are all gig economy apps. You have goddamn Craigslist. So we have our own app. We have our own market. We have our own platform where we're doing that. And we have people, let's say that I want to utilize your studio, because this is legendary right here. This setup right here is the future. This setup is new media. This setup is this setup has value. This setup is a model. It's a business model. So let's say that you rent this out to somebody and they pay you $100 an hour to utilize this expert production setup right here. Because this is considered industry standard.
Most definitely.
This podcast, the setup right here is industry standard. This is even above industry standard. This model could be implemented in so many places in Black America where we could duplicate this model, monetize this model, commodify this model, and we can have an exit strategy and sell this model if we wanted to. Because you could build the key to this new startup economy that we exist in, that you're seeing all of these brands like Uber, where they just valued them at what, 100 billion? They're about to go. They're about to go public.
Yes,
I ain't know.
Where all of these
billion,
startups, where Amazon is valued at a certain price because they're selling shares and stocks. That's why Bezos is at the top. So the idea is to build up the brand, go public with it, sell shares and equity in it, and then you have an exit strategy, nigga. In translation, I'm selling this bitch.
That's what people do.
That's
They
what
build
I'm
up
talking
something
about.
just to sell it.
get that money out.
I'm flipping this bird.
Something else.
Don't cry for me, Argentina. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll be back and I'm gonna have 3 brands after that.
Yep.
Because we also live in the era of serial entrepreneurism. So what I'm saying is the vision that we have to monetize and we're also doing workshops. This is me giving it to you in layman's terms. Because we're talking about 400 years of slavery, going right back to that. And what was the main crop that we were out there picking?
Cotton.
It's called big cotton, right? Big cotton because of the billions that were made, because everybody got to wear underwear, t-shirt, panties, socks, and all of that. That's just basic shit. Then niggas got drip on. They had to wear because they was sharp back in the days. Don't ever think that our people was lacking.
All custom.
And go and look at the all bespoke, all custom, all talent. The drip been drippy. You know what I'm talking about? 1600s. Let's not get into what the Moors was wearing, the sacred silks and all of this stuff.
Taylor.
The fabrics and how we
Taylor.
was coming through the Silk Road with the silk from India and China and all of that. We was always dripping. We just getting back to it. And what I'm saying is, you look alright in the Gucci, but you will look more better in the Poochie, but then you will look even better in the sushi. You know what I'm talking about? That's
All
false.
day.
You know what I'm talking about?
All
You know what I
day.
mean? You look better in your own shit. They learned it from you.
Yeah.
They don't, you know what I'm talking about? You got the Birkin bag that got measles and whatnot, but there's no alligators in Europe.
Though some
They
of them, and
taking-
some of them Nigerian brothers be getting clean.
Because that seamstress in Africa, that scissor that they got. You know what I'm talking about? The fact that they're able to take these luxury leathers and whatnot, the understanding that they have on a continent of just seamstress, you know what I mean? Like pattern making. Remember, I'm talking about engineers and mathematicians. Y'all looking at it from the wrong angle. You buying into this National Geographic propaganda picture of your own people. No, you're not looking at it from a cultural perspective. You're not looking at it from a wealth adding. That's how they look at it. That's why they boss up. How you think the Italians and the Jews and all that, they go into Africa and they see the bigger picture. They pulling diamonds out the ground. And like I said, that's just one precious metal and precious stone. They're pulling about 1,100 out the ground. Let's be clear. And they have a whole market for it. And we sitting around looting, wasting time, missing out on anything that's moving. Because we all focus on one market, the drug market. Niggas is still trying to chase Tony Montana dreams because they were sold a story and a mythos that was life-changing, and that was Scarface, Superfly, and all that other shit niggas bought into. But we need to come up, and I'm not going to blame nobody. I'm not pointing fingers. All I'm saying is, in this renaissance that we live in this time of creativity, you niggas need to create your new version of these stories. That's the only thing missing, is we need to take all of this. We got the equipment. You see the equipment, right?
Most stuff.
There
All
it
right, so
is.
I gotta finish my point. the cotton industry, right? They bossed up off of cotton, tobacco, sugar, and a whole bunch of things. So when I was younger in the 90s, I was taking my cotton rights back. I was receiving reparations out of Bloomingdale's, Macy's, A&S, Gimbel's, and all of the other places that carry Polo, Ralph Lauren, Yes by Marciano, by George Marciano, and Tommy Hilfiger. I was a booster. And we were savages. We were sophisticated savages of the highest order, though. You understand? We looked like preppy Oxford kids, and we had oxes in our back pocket cutting shit. You understand?
And you ain't give no props to people if they pay for it. You probably only got props if you boosted.
Pay for it? You know what I mean?
You was a sucker if you paid for it.
You understand?
Alligators. You want to see the
Hat
inside?
I see you later. Like, we were coming from pirate culture. Once again, our DNA, we're merchants, we're traders by nature, but we're also pirates because of the conditions that we were put into by these quote unquote, conquistadors, these inquisitors and colonizers. So we was on defense. So we was running up in their stores, taking whole racks of shit and cutting the security. No, nobody was getting cut, my bad. They was running through shit. They had a whole crew. They had a whole crew named Steam Team. Where do you think that come from? They was running with the cloth. And you niggas be trying to run with the cloth these days, and we gotta call you Steam Team, but that's a whole nother story. They was running with the cloth out the door. I'm talking about $1,000 sweaters and whatnot. Then later on, I grew out of that, right? Because we was approaching it from a revolutionary mind state. That was our armor. Yo, look, they told me how people got done dirty in social studies. This, that, get back. You know what I'm talking about? Don't judge me. And the hood was appreciative because we were helping the economy. We were helping balance the budget because the mothers didn't have to spend all their hard-earned work, their money on a damn coat or sweater. So later on, I went from taking clothes to making clothes, and I've learned the industry, and I'm applying what I learned and what I'm living. And great, it's almost like a ritual. It's almost like this is an ancestor. This is like an altar. I'm keeping his name alive. I'm in alignment with the principles that was given to us by our ancestors. And they said, keep us alive and in your mouths and in your minds and in your hearts. That way we'll be immortals, right? Immortalize us. Some niggas die young like James Dean. I think Hova said that, right? And that's the illest trick played. That's one of the illest ways to leave this planet and tap out is if you come and you live a action-packed, legendary run. Because niggas that die young are like Tutankhamun.
Facts.
Right? The good die young.
Facts.
But you didn't have to live out your whole cycle where you might have lost your luster, where the heroes become villains. So some people, like Tupac, he only had to put in 27 years of work, right? And then he tapped out, and now he's immortalized. He didn't have to go through 80 years and 90 and keep proving himself and all of that. You had a good run. You out of here. Everyone in their hood got a young god that got immortalized. He's a star now. Nigga died at 17. But even people who's doing monumental shit in their 40s is still like, yo, he's the legend. He was the shining star amongst all of us. He's the spark. He's the one that looks over us. He's our North Star. Because we all going back to where we came from. Don't be afraid. You understand? Everybody's still in the higher realms. This shit is like how you could look down on an ant farm. They know what's going on. The same way that you can see the shining stars, they see you shining on this plane.
There you go.
That you can't be, you know what I mean? Like nigga can't unsee you. If you shining like the North Star, you right there. So I look at Sirius, I communicate with Sirius star system. That's the dog star. I know that's where we come from. That's the canine star system. That's Sirius. That's a bitch. You understand? It's a female dog. Where I live in the Bronx, I live right across from the Bronx Zoo. When I went over there, they have hyenas and the African wild dog. That's the dog star. You know what I'm talking about? So you have to know, I live in a world of synchro-mysticism. I'm able to see the mysticism and synchronicicism in everything. I know that the great divine speaks through signs. I watch nature. Y'all live in, you don't live in it. This is Virginia. This is not the big city. The one up that you have on, the one up that everyone in the South has, the one up that our brothers and sisters who live in forest lands and vegetated lands of greenery and plush greenery and mountainous regions. There's a lake in the backyard, family, and a golf course right here, mounds. Like you're tapped into an energy source. I live in a big city. I'm deprived. I'm around big buildings and concrete. I can't even put my feet in the dirt. You understand? I live in a cold place. I live in an unfamiliar society. I'm inside of a conquered kingdom, my nigga. It's almost like in Game of Thrones when they take over Westboro and they're in your kingdom. Them niggas is all in our kingdoms. They've conquered our kingdoms for whatever it is. The kingdoms fell during the crack wars. The kingdoms fell when they swooped niggas up and put them in a paddy wagon and took all of the niggas and put them on a chain gang. Like they have penetrated the fucking line of defense. And now they're walking amongst us, walking dead. They're walking among, they're not scared of niggas, and they don't have nothing holding them back from continuing to oppress and to exploit. White people are not aggressive like that up front. They're not going to just smack you. People are looking to get smacked and spit on. They're going to exploit you in so many scientific ways. They're going to exploit you because your food has geo-markers, is geo-targeted. Meaning that if they kill shit right there in South Carolina and poison all of those chickens because you don't even know what's in the feed. Go and watch the show Rotten. It's going to show you how all of this shit could be. They could show you how they could poison the food supply because the slaughterhouses, what was it, Pilgrims or something? What was the name of this shit? Like they're in control of the packaging. They're in control of the slaughtering. They get all of the food in its last cycle. These companies are owned by quote unquote ravaging white supremacists, people from the solid South, KKK and all of these things. You don't know what they're putting in your food. They are the ones who give the growers the feed. Everything is scientific with them. They run these cycles. So you don't know, and the food gets shipped out. They could geolocate you. You think they don't got zip codes on a goddamn poisonous chicken that they're sending into the hoods that's giving people cancer? They do rituals over chickens like they do in Cuba and in the hood and in the Santeria, but they're killing 10,000 at once. So these are satanic, go and line up satanic cults, white supremacist groups, and then line up the slaughterhouses. They're all in the same place. So they're doing rituals over the food. They consecrating the chicken with all of these spirits and all of these entities and all of these egregors and all of these demons and all of that stuff. They're raising some of these chickens in slavery. They're raising cows in slavery. They're raising pigs in slavery. Enslaved! The same place that this slave shit comes from. Your food is enslaved. And that's what you eating, so you are what you eat. Niggas is more chicken than chickens these days, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Chicken and corn.
Some people are more piggish and pig-like than pigs these days.
Smithfield packing plant people, not far from here.
So you don't know the science of the evil geniuses and these evil scientists who operate. The reason why they're able to operate is because niggas is moving in ignorance. Ignorance is bliss. And black ignorance is $1 trillion industry, and that's how they're profiting. That's where this long money that they got is coming from. That's why they live as haves and you live as have-nots. They're exploiting you, feeding off of you. It's the parasite host relationship. 400 years is up. You niggas need to shake this shit, get this shit moving. Like I said, we have an initiative. $5 piece of cotton turns magically into a $50 piece of cotton. When I finish shaking that shit and sprinkling, I'm salt baying this bitch. You know what I'm talking about? After I finish sprinkling that magic on it, it turns into something else. I'm cooking in mama's kitchen, cooking up work, mixing bricks up, my niggas, whipping the hard. You know what I'm talking about?
There you go.
Hitting that shit over the fire, right? Because I gotta apply fire to this shit.
Got to.
Fire gets applied to many of the products that we create. I'm in Virginia. I'm in the South. I'm on a campaign. I'm finna tour this bitch. Facts 2020, nigga. I'm campaigning. I'm on the stump, my nigga. The same. I'm right behind Cory Booker and Kamala and them. I'm on their heels, nigga. I'm campaigning because We gotta bring industry back.
Most
I'm
deaf.
trying to tell you the power. We're still in the industrial age. The power is in the machinery. He turned a space into a production studio. We democratized what you niggas thought was machinery that only corporations and big businesses could own. Now we own it.
Facts.
Now we don't. Now my cloth is not altered, nigga. My cloth, my shit raw. This is fit to no cloth. You will die wearing this cloth. This is uncut. You know what I'm talking about? It's uncut. So this is that cloth talk. We don't have to charge it up. We don't have to apologize for going in, for doing what we do. You know what I'm talking about? We don't have to sugarcoat the frequency. We don't have to adapt to nobody's oppressive ways.
Nah.
We don't have to adapt to the carrot and whatnot. And a lot of our people in the old media and a lot of the people that a lot of people put faith in, they're compromised via contract. You know what I'm talking about? So what we on will not resonate in this time period and in this era, and I'm fine with that because shit that I was talking about 10 years ago is playing out now. I understand what era, I understand what I understand who I am and what I represent and what I bring to the table and the seeding aspect of the information and how long it takes for an oak tree to grow. And I'm cool with that. But the game is to be sold, not told. But the game is at play right now, and there's a lot of business models. It's a lot of information. I'm a wealth of information. My family is a wealth of information. My team is a wealth of information. My nation is a wealth of information. My contemporaries are a wealth of information. So we live in a time where if you want to take a sip of the juice, it's available. And at the end of the day, it's on you. I'm not here to sell nobody nothing. Because you're going to save yourself. If this shit don't resonate in your DNA, you know what I'm talking about? Then it's just not for you. No offense.
Sorry for you.
I
No
feel
offense.
sorry for you too.
Tell the people where they can find you, brother. Tell the people where they can find you.
Could find me in cyberspace under Red Pillar, Blue Pill 44. You can find me online at the social media sites under EL Filthmore. That's my name. That's acronyms. Phil Thomas Moreland. L Filthmore. EL is a title. All right? Like Elohim. EL _ Filthmore. It's not because I'm filthy. It's just how, that's the shit that I picked out when I came here. That's my moniker. But in my name is Red Pill. Philip is Red Pill. PHI is Phi. Phi is philosophy, philanthropy. You know what I mean? Philosophical, but it's also Phi, Greek for fire. And that's red. And LLIP, spin around, is pill. So in my name is my purpose, and that's what I'm living out. The lover of horses. And I love me some horses. Holla to my stable of horses and horsepower and the horsies on the polo. All of the horses. I love them all.
You want to
saying?
let them know how they can get these online.
Yeah, kingscounty.bigcartel.com. This is Big Couture. You know what I mean? This is streetwear couture. You feel me? This is we have the Garvey collection. We have the Coat of Arms collection. You know what I'm talking about? This is a suit for the ladies. That drip. Look at the sparkle.
All day.
You know what I mean?
That joint nice.
That good sparkle.
Joint nice.
So we just working. Oh, the drip. You know what I mean? The Kings, you see it on the back.
Gotta show the back. Gotta show the back.
Yeah, that couture.
That's all embroidered, people.
Yeah, that
all
good
kind of-
couture. That good embroidery. That good couture. Like, we got our aims on becoming we want to compete with the big dogs because they all started out in the garage. They all started out in the basement. Amazon started out in the garage. Apple started out in the garage. IBM, we in the garage putting in work. We in you know what I mean? We in the studio doing the damn thing. But what I want to, like I said, I am a proponent of mass production. I don't want to just hold on to this. I want to go and set up shop in multiple states. That's why I'm doing workshops. with the Facts 2020, working through Compass Circle and other places. We're securing grants. We're securing multi-million-dollar, bags, so I could teach at-risk youth, melanated youth all around the world how to start multi-million-dollar businesses. There's a thing that I have. I don't want to outdo myself and give you 40 different ways on how to get it. I want to work, on that's why we have the initiative. We're going to stick to the things that matter the most, because inside of food is mad different niches. Inside of art, we got graphic art, we got the dark arts, we got the occult arts, we got martial arts. You know what I mean? We have just designing and illustrating, videographer, editing, like so many different angles that you could come at this thing with. So we have our hands full, and we need all hands on deck. So for the Facts 2020, hit me up on my DM on the gram right now. We have notaledgemedia.com, and it's also ktlmedia.com. That's going to be our central site where everything congeals and whatnot. And you'll be able to know about the upcoming lectures. You'll be able to see our catalog. We have a catalog of over 700 videos, clips, cloth, information, lessons, lectures, content, because content is king. And the wealth of your intellectual property.
Say that again about
content is king. You should be recording every day. You should be cataloging every day. You should be creating and content creating every day. All of these hot button topics, I use these as teacher moments. They provided excellent content. We have content that you could review that spans back to 10 some odd years. You could tap into our stream of consciousness, our movement, our growth. You understand? We got a story, the greatest story never told. You understand? I got an album. Like, where's my CD at? I got a double album, a work of art that me and Blue Pill completed, 23 songs. Twin the album, twinthealbum.com. I'm not a proponent of the streaming platforms. They rob us. I'm going to be on decentralized streaming platforms that are on blockchains, okay? That's how we're going to be giving it up. We're not going to do Spotify. We're not going to do Apple. We're not being robbed. We're not allowing people to take our intellectual property and continue to put us in an impoverished, needy state. We're going to be bosses and cut out the middleman. So twinthealbum.com. Go and get your merch. Go and get your double album. We'll autograph it. It's a red disc and a blue disc. It's powerful. If you like what I was talking about, you're gonna like what I'm rapping about.
Tell them to check the mini movie too, man.
The mini movie, episode 1, Twin. We have 7 episodes to complete. We started with episode 1, Twin the album. You could put it up. You could put it in your search engine and it will pull up. It's 9 minutes. We want to do a webisode series. So we're creating our own content. And, we're steering our own path. Go and check out Prince the video. Go and check out Made for This. You know what I mean? Like, we have a library. We have Scorpion King, which was my first project. That's a classic. So we just here, man. We really are here to do what needs to be done. My Baba, Dr. Sabi, right? Rest in peace. My Baba, Dr. Delbert Blair. My Umi, Dr. Francis Cress Welson,
Dick Gregory,
Baba, Dick Gregory. We have shows in our archives on Blog Talk Radio with all of the names that I mentioned, along with many others. Umar, you know what I'm saying? You name them. We did shows with them many moons ago. These are classic shows. These are ancestors now. But on these episodes, they left us with orders. They left us with directions. They left us with knowledge and gems and pearls. So go and tap into that archive. You could Google that. Know the Ledge Radio, Dr. Sabi. Know the Ledge Radio, Dr. Francis Cress Welson. Know the Ledge Radio, Dr. Blair. Know the Ledge Radio, Shahrazad Ali. Know the Ledge Radio is so many people. Dr. Phil Valentine, a whole library of that. A.A. Rashid, I said the Duke of Tears. You know, I mean, Taj Tariq Bey. The list goes on. Hakeem Bey for days and days. So we just we continuing to do what we do. Many huge things coming in the future. I can't talk about it all because we gave you a mouthful already. You got to ingest
It's a couple
that.
of mouthfuls.
You got to ingest that. You know,
A lot of Jews drop, baby.
yeah. Look out for the Facts 2020 web-based app. Okay, the web-based app. But right now, go to the gram. You'll be able to follow all of the rollouts, all of the another pop. We just did a pop-up yesterday at the House of Consciousness in Norfolk. Salute to the family out there. We're going to be doing more pop-ups around the 50 states and then across the pond and whatnot, along with our lectures, which are now upgraded into productions, seminars, and workshops. And we're aiming for conventions by next year, 2020. So Facts 2020, Know the Ledge Media, Melanin Mondays on YouTube, Third Eye Thursdays on YouTube. My channel is Know the Ledge Media. Go and look at the 55 Melanin Mondays that I already laid out. You'll see prophecy in the flesh. You'll see me talking about stuff that, you know, later on came true. Third Eye Thursdays, where we go from a more metaphysical approach. Black Magic 363, I have mad stuff on that. Key of Life Production, I have classics on that. Baba TV, I have classics on that. Black News 102, I have classics on that. And on Know the Ledge Media, I got classics on that. So
You got classics on Sarnetta too.
that's what I'm saying. Sarnetta Studios, Black News 102, mad classic. That 2014 to 16, that was a historic run in the history. I feel like that was the crescendo of the conscious community, and I'm honored to have been a part of that whole, you know, that wave, that rush of content and information, when there was a unified energy, when people were communicating in a more effective manner, when the seed planting was taking place on monumental levels, when, you know, but then that's also when the bend of the race was taking place, and that's when a lot of people stopped running.
You hit us with a lot.
Most definitely.
And it
Big
was
shout
all-
outs
it was all
again to
beneficial.
Casey and the Compass Circle again. Big shout out.
Yeah.
Big shout out. What you
Get him, shout it, he ain't acting right, girl.